So I have a feeling that Bitcoin Cash might actually hit 2005 maybe. So what's up dudes, dudettes, and everybody in between. Welcome to my channel where my goal is to help 1,000 people manage $10,000. We have a very exciting week that happened this week, mainly because of cryptos, but just be reminded this is not financial advice. This is just for educational purposes, and do your own research and check on technicals. Okay, I'm going to start with Bitcoin Cash because I actually do like it. Okay, for you guys who watched my channel maybe 2 weeks ago, you know that I said that there was a short squeeze in Bitcoin somewhere around here. So that did happen, and now we are much, well, quite a bit higher. You know, we came from about 6,000, 7,000 to about 9,000, so we're 2,000 points up. This is a huge recovery in the grand scheme of things, because if you look at how much we've fallen, this is quite a big recovery. Okay, but anyway, what I kind of wanted to say was, you know, even with this significant recovery, the main worry that I have about the crypto market in general is, of course, everything is correlated to the Bitcoin market. And right now, what I am long is XRP. So I'm long XRP right here, and I'm long at 0.68, so I'm about 20 cents up, which is actually, I'm quite happy with that. At dollar, I'm a little bit worried about valuations, to be honest. So at dollar, I'll probably half this position. Okay, but anyway, so I was looking at Bitcoin, and I'm thinking that my worry is the Mt. Gox issue. And according to this article that I see on Steam, it says that Mt. Gox is probably not going to sell until September. So if that's the case, what we want to do is we want to get out before September. So I'm going to give it until about mid-August, and I should be reducing my risk quite a bit by then. If I don't reduce, if I haven't already half my XRP, I'll definitely do it by then. If not, it's even more by then. Okay, so but what I think will happen is, because this Mt. Gox players, they do want the price to go back up, I think they will let the price rise. So all these whales are probably going to let prices rise. To what level, that's anybody's guess, but I think it will happen at a I think we may retest these levels here. Not the highs, but I think we may retest these levels here. There has to be a lot of retail interest, and I think there has been. If you go on like YouTube, there are a lot of channels that are just coming back alive, and that's kind of strange because, you know, when this was happening, they just disappeared, and then, you know, this happened, they came back, and now when that happened again, they disappeared again. So it's kind of interesting. People are coming back into the market, and there's definitely more retail interest. Question is, how much do they think they'll let this rise? Honestly, I don't think the people who went 15,000 long, I don't think they're gonna get that back. If we hit 12,000, I think that's huge. But again, I may be wrong. I'm just saying that I don't personally, I don't think so. There are many reasons for that, and if you want to, I can do a video about it, but you know, I have to ask me about it. So my position is in XRP. I got in around 6.8, and now it's at 0.9, so it's not too bad. The high was 3.3, 3.4. So my valuation target's actually 0.68. So I bought it at no discount and no premium. So it's just at 0.68. So I just bought it where I think fair value of XRP should be. So now it's much higher. The question is, when do I want to sell out? When does this become too much of less about valuations and more about sentiment, or more about the hype? Everybody's hyping stuff up. So I do have to take my cue from Bitcoin, because everything again is tied to Bitcoin. If it's not Bitcoin, I do see that there is less correlation to Bitcoin and more correlation to Ether, which is an interesting development in the market. But I am not 100% on Ether. I do like XLM, but it has come quite a long way back already. See, the highest was already well, you know, XLM is one of those newer things, so it's a bit hard to see. But I do like XLM. I liked it because of its decentralization. So Okay, so we look at cross BTC, we can see that the highs was still around the same time. Okay, I do like XLM because of the decentralized apps and the ability for the ICO. So I think if you're serious about doing ICO and you're a big company and you need something scalable, you kind of have to do it on XLM. But to be honest, this market is going to be crowded because there's waves, there's XLM, there's EOS, and there's NEO. So there are a lot of things that are coming out, and even Bitcoin Cash. I like Bitcoin Cash because they just introduced their smart contracts and I think it's scalable, but at the same time it's competing in the same market as this. So the question is which is going to be the leader in about 10 years, and clearly we don't know. As of right now, it's definitely Ether. But I'm quite confident on this because if you're a big company, you want a single source clearing, or their nodes are more controlled. So I think this might be slightly better. Okay, so my other positions, let's talk about them. Okay, my dollar CAD position, let's see. Okay, I'm gonna have to admit I was very, very, very lucky on this one. What happened is I got in at about, let's see, what did I get in at? 125.64, 125.64, so about here. Okay, the reason why I got in these levels is because I knew there was gonna be this interest rate announcement, and I didn't think it was gonna be a hike. So I think the market was expecting a hike, even though expectations was no hike, but it didn't, so it just went like this. So this initial reaction here, you see, is probably just me being quite kind of lucky and getting into this. I did manage to hold on through the dip, and now we are back up here. Okay, this is also because of a little bit of weak data coming from Canada, but honestly I don't think it's that weak. I was looking at the data, let's see. So let's say this week, or last week more like, it's the 20th, and let's just look at Canada. So Canada and US. Okay, so most of this, a very strong part of this move came on Friday. So probably around here, this Friday move. And if you look at this, it is weak, yes, but it's not that weak. It's 0.1% off, 0.1% off, and 0.3% off. So the argument here could be that because autos are going to be affected by the NAFTA agreement and retail sales are therefore negative, it's possible, but again, on a percentage basis, this isn't terrible, my entire watch list. So I've been through XRP, I've been through Canada, Euro, Aussie. So I am again short Euro, Aussie, and I have been punished a little bit. So I was lucky because I got in at a position somewhere around here and I got out somewhere around here. So I played this wave and now we're back up here. The reason why I got out is just for risk management purposes. So when you see my account, even though we're down about $1,000 here, let's wait for that to load. Okay, it's down about $1,000 here. It's actually only down about $550 because I had one position that took profit. Well, I kind of closed it around here, so that's fine. The reason why this move has been up is because of this. The Aussie dollar has just been weakening through this week. There's some fundamental data to it, but again, I'm not convinced by the argument. This is more sentiment driven than anything. Anyway, maybe I'll just explain it and I'll edit that searching part out. So what it is the commitment trade data is just basically the entire futures market. So these tends to be banks and all that hedge their positions in the futures market. So futures is just a different instrument, and it's mainly used for hedging. So what it is it shows the sentiment of the market, how the market is feeling right now, and they are deeply, deeply negative on the Aussie dollar. They are also deeply, deeply negative on the US dollar, and they are heavily, heavily positive on the euro. So these are things that I don't think will remain because the Aussie is still strong. What I mean by that is the One Belt One Road is a very which is the China's infrastructure project. So it's a multi-billion-dollar project. I think that will feed off into the Australian economy because there is steel, there is iron that is going to come from Australia. Now, how is that going to come out? When is that going to reverse? I don't know. I just think it will. It's just a matter of time before we get there. The euro, if you look at the EXY, which is the trade-weighted euro, we have entered this consolidation pattern. Okay, and the reason why we've entered this consolidation pattern is because we have had this absolute streak from the time that Macron won the French elections all the way up here. So this almost mirrors the Euro USD because of how much trade is done between the two countries. So we have this streak all the way up here, and it has not come back down for any form of correction because of how bullish people are on the euro dollar. Okay, if you are on eToro, which I know most of my viewers are, what has happened in this situation is you notice a lot of the popular investors during this time suddenly disappeared, especially those who are heavily invested in the euro or FX traders more like. They didn't see this coming, and I don't think anyone could have, to be honest, because this was just destroyed people. This also destroyed people, which is the US dollar, which is very out of the ordinary. This move, it just destroyed people. So that's why you see a lot of the popular investors who were with eToro suddenly disappeared. Like, so here, let's see, what else can I tell you? Okay, so my watch list wise. Okay, I didn't manage to get into UniCredit, unfortunately. It's a bit of a bummer because it kind of rallied this week. I think all the banks generally are doing quite well, but again, we are in this range, so even if it breaks 18, I do expect a little bit of retracement before we head higher, so I might go in then. I am watching out for earnings reports, so that's something that will be quite important in this. Let's see. What else am I looking at? Okay, Hong Kong dollar, I've given up on this thesis. Dollar Swiss also, I'm probably not going to touch it. Dollar Swiss is because the boat has already sailed. I was using it as a proxy for the US dollar, but the fundamentals of the Swiss economy have not played out. So franc is already kind of suffering a little bit. What's the other one I was saying? Okay, Hong Kong dollar, I've given up on that because everyone was wondering if this peg is going to hold. The Hong Kong Monetary Authority said they will peg it against the US dollar, and there's a certain peg they will keep. This is the upper end of the range, so the question is whether people were pushing this higher with a lot of volume to see whether they could break the Bank of China. So this is a lot like what happened with the cable when George Soros broke the Bank of England. They were trying to see if they could break it. I had the impression they might succeed, so I was gonna go for a long position, but I realized the risk reward doesn't make sense because eToro doesn't allow leverage on this Hong Kong dollar, so I kind of left that alone. And also because I believe that China wants to be one of the global superpowers. I don't think they will let it collapse because of political reasons, so I left it as it is. Okay, China A50. This one is by far the most frustrating trade I've had. I've actually lost quite a bit on this trade already, so I think I need to kind of give up on this. Again, I believe in the One Belt One Road project, but sentiment is driving this negative, and I stopped out around here. So not so good for me, but shit happens, and you just gotta take it as it comes. So I stopped around here, and I did not go back in, and it's kind of a good thing because we've gone lower since. Sorry, I stopped around here maybe, so we've gone lower. So I have nothing much to say about this. The truth is I don't know what's going on, and if you think that this is a transparent market, you have to be smoking some kind of weed or something, because the Chinese numbers cannot be trusted. You take it with a pinch of salt. Not they can't be trusted, you take it with a huge pinch of salt. So yeah, that's all I have for you this week. Again, I will update you guys on my wall if I do decide to go long on one of these cryptos, and I think I might, especially Bitcoin Cash. I do really like it, but as you can see, it's up a lot already, so I'm not sure if this is worth this risk. Okay, the spread is not as bad as I thought. 60 is not too bad, but yeah, I'm not too sure if I want to assume this risk. The risk reward is not very good, even if I do think we're going back to 2006. You know what, I might still go long. It's just is up 10% today, so let's wait for one correction day before we go back long. Okay, so yep, that's all I have for today. So I hope you liked that video. Do me a favor, like, comment, subscribe, or watch a video recommended by YouTube here, or watch one of my videos here. Thanks.